Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to Bang's Audio Reviews. This would be Shanling Sono, take 3. That was almost take 4. Shanling Sono IM 3-driver hybrid. It's 2 DDs and 1 BA. Sounds like a good start, right? $80 price point. Also, under 100 is always a good start, as long as it's good. In the box, well, the box is empty. In the box, you've got 4 different sizes of these translucent. They call them vocal ear tips, and that's because they are very wide bore. Good match for the set, actually. And then, not pictured here, double flange blue tips that maybe made it to the garbage, but they're probably just actually in the drawer of confusion, because I don't use double flange tips. They freak me out. Anyway, so pretty basic. You get the case. It's a nice case. You get the tips. You don't get that. I'll explain that in a minute. Cable. And there are 2 tuning nozzles to this set, actually, and I will also get into that. Case is nice, big enough for the IMs, maybe a little too thick to pocket, but very protective, and I'd rather have the protection in the room, honestly, than to be able to put it in my pocket anyway, but that is me. So, that is it for the box. The box is nice. It's not a bad unboxing experience for something that's well under $100. You can see. Very nice. Anyway, technical specifications on this are resistance of 16 ohms. There's no room for anything. Sensitivity is 103 decibels. And the frequency range goes from 16 hertz to, is it 40? Yeah, they're saying 40,000 hertz or 40 kilohertz. So your dogs can hear it. I like a lot of things about this set. I like the accessories, even though there's not a ton of them. Yeah, I mean, tip-wise, it's fine. They are nice tips. And I should find the medium size so I can actually use them, but they are probably in the drawer of confusion. Set and fit crystal tips on there for me. That's what I did my testing on, as well as the FiO K11. That was the source. Qobuz Studio for high-res tracks. Typical stuff for me, pretty much. These are a zinc alloy. They're weighty, but not outrageously so. And the chassis is fairly petite, considering there are 3 drivers in there, 2 of which are dynamic drivers. Nice aesthetic. Microfiber cloth, also not included. But if you want to keep them shiny, I recommend having one of these handy. Small one will fit nicely in this slightly oversized case. Slightly. Also, dangerous, do not eat. Now they tell me. Anyway, before I go to the hospital and have to have my stomach pumped, I would recommend keeping one of these silica desiccant packs in with any or all of your metal shell IEMs. My lair, my studio, my hangout, whatever you want to call it, it's in the basement. Yeah, Western New York basements can be fairly damp. This one's not bad. I do run a dehumidifier down here pretty much 24/7, but it's getting louder with age, so it is not currently on. One of these, you guys, they come in everything. Anything that hates moisture or moisture will damage will come with these. Save a few. Put them in the case. Keep the condensation from happening. You'll be happy you did. So, there you go. I like Yeah, again, the aesthetics on this are really nice. The cable actually matches the shape of the IM at the connector. So that's a plus and a minus. Plus being looks pretty slick. Minus being any other cable that you may decide to use on it will not look as slick. But it is a two-pin two-pin connection, so you can swap cables out should you like. I did. Part of my testing was with a 4.4, as per usual for me, and I will let you know that I felt like it actually did benefit from the extra juice. However, not necessary. They do just fine with 3.5. Single-ended. Back to the cable. Cable is a oxygen-free copper silver-plated. It is pretty much memory-free. Really nice feel to it. Ear hooks on the aggressive side. I mean, not to the point where they got uncomfortable at any point in time, but just that was for me. It could be different for you. I guess a hairdryer could partly solve this, sort of get them loosened up a little bit, a little more pliable, but something to be aware of. They really won't have any trouble like staying in your ears, I don't think, even without the aggressiveness. But again, shell size is small, so there could be, reason for that. To give you an example of how small, I got to bring up my test track list here. To give you an idea of how small the shells are, this is the Truthear Nova. Oh yeah, and there's the cable I was trading back and forth. I finally got a really nice looking cable with the Nova. This is the TAC Cables Obsidian Litz from Hakujai. Anyway, look at this. Boom. Chunky. Not chunky. Chunky. Not chunky. It makes you realize how big some of those Truthear chassis are. I mean, it's just massive in comparison. That's why these things are so comfortable. I think they just disappear right in your ears. On the inside of them, you've got the two dynamic drivers. They are in a coaxial configuration with triple magnets, which is cool. It would explain something about how they sound, which I will get into. That handles the low and mid-range frequencies. The upper frequencies, aka the treble, those guys are handled by a custom balanced armature driver. Now, anytime you hear custom, a little alarm bells go off because you never really know the quality. Like if you see Sonyan or if you see Knowles, you know that's going to be a quality driver. When you see custom, that means it was either handled in-house or it was handled by somebody else and they put it in. What I'm trying to say. So there can be quite a wide range of quality on a quote-unquote custom BA driver. In the case of the Shanling Sono, I'm happy to report that although it may not be the best BA that I've ever heard, it handles the treble quite nicely. Interesting thing about this set, it's one of the ones that made it into the collection and then kind of sat, just kind of sat because there was just so many exciting sets that were blasting at me from China. That was my fault. I realized that, but a few sets got left behind. This is one of them, and it didn't deserve it. Really didn't deserve it. So, anything else on the text? I don't think so. I think we're good. I just little cheat sheet so I don't forget anything majorly important, because that wouldn't be very helpful. Yeah, that's good. All right, so onto the sound. Crash. The sound impressions on this. Okay, two things. One, I liked it better the more I listened to it. My initial impression was that it was, just okay. You got to give your two things that are really important. You got to give yourself a break from listening to other IMs when you get a new set. Like, just don't start comparing them right away. You got to give the IMs a chance to speak for themselves and not in competition or comparison to others. That was one thing. That helped me. The other thing that helped me was they came with the brass nozzle with the red ring on it, which is the quote-unquote fun bassy nozzle. And it was reminding me like a lot of the Kailua, which I just did a review of that, my last review, I believe. And I like that set a lot, but it's basically a warm, bassy, fun set. And it was on sale for $40 or $50, depending on your color. And I felt like that was a really good value, and I still do. But for $80, you run into things like this that compete with it if it's at its regular retail. And quite frankly, this is a much better sounding IM once you get the other nozzles on it. So in order to really understand the potential here, you have to knock that bass back, because with the brass nozzles, the bass was predominant. Like, it was the focus. It was the thing. And yeah, that's fun. And Basshead Nation, sure, you guys would love it. I love that, but here's the thing that they don't tell you. When you take those fun bassy nozzles out and put the balanced ones in, that bass doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, I would almost say that it is more present, because here's what happens. Here's what happens with the silver or stainless nozzle with the black ring. The bass becomes more articulate, more focused, more dynamic, more detailed, and with all of those things, more energetic. So where the bronze nozzles it's kind of just like a warm blanket, billowy kind of bass, like sort of just a kind of bass. The bass with the other nozzles, with the silver and black nozzles, is like this fucking bass. Okay? It's got great attack and decay and, like I said, definition, details, energy. These are the nozzles that make you go, wow, this is a really freaking good set. Here's the other thing that happens, right? You get that bass more controlled, not less, okay? Like overall volume-wise, just as much. But you get it more controlled and more detailed and more focused. That lets the mids start to shine a little bit, and it lets the treble start to shine a little bit. So the treble on these, when I initially was listening to them with the bronze, the treble was kind of like washed out. It just wasn't very impressive. I felt like it was not sibilant, but like borderline kind of splashy and thin. No, it's not. It's actually very well done. Is it incredibly extended? No. Is it airy? No. Is it a bright sounding set? No, not really. But the treble is there, and it's really good treble. It's pretty smooth. It's pretty detailed. Just, it's not an airhead IM. It's not a treble head IM. I'm not going to say that. But with the correct, and I'm calling them correct now, with the stainless/silver and black, you're looking at a much more balanced experience. But still, the bass is there. It is punchy. It is rumbly in the sub bass. They picked up the biggest test I've got right now is Agony from Slaughter to Prevail, right around the 2-minute and 30-second mark in that song. There are 2 breaks, and each of those breaks there is a sub bass synth that is really felt more than heard. But if your set doesn't have good sub bass extension, it's going to sound like dead space, dead air. You could feel it with these. You could feel it here, almost here, but definitely feel that rumble. I can't get down that low, so I'm not even going to try to tell you what it sounds like. But you'll know it. If you've got songs with like really, really low frequency sub bass, you'll be able to hear it with these, or at least feel it. So yeah, these became a much better set than I first thought they were. And that is a very fun thing to happen. On the test tracks, anything that really stood out? Yes. Hip-hop, R&B, and rap stood out. Metal, because the treble is not super bright and sparkly, so sounded very good with that. Kick drums, especially that bass synth that I was talking about. Bass guitars, I don't know. Atlas Novus, Scaleless Summit, that's an instrumental. Very, very cool song. The instruments were perfectly separated. It was well layered. It was just maybe one of the best renditions of that song that I've heard, like, through these. Anything else in here that really caught my attention? I would say probably not the best set for opera, because the soprano range can still, the BA in here has its limitations, let's face it. It's not a kilobucks set. So I wouldn't say that it's a great set for high female vocals, like soprano range. Melody Gardot, who's more of an alto, definitely sounded very good, very intoxicating. And male vocals had weight, heft, just very good presence to them as well. So yeah, good, like sort of weak points and very strong points with this set. Yeah, the weak points are few and far between, especially considering the price points. So another good find for me. It's always a happy find when something that you've got and you haven't really listened to much just sort of jumps out at you. But like I said at the beginning, this is really important. I think, again, anytime you get something new, even if you have to sleep on it, if you listen to something and it's not hitting you the right way, now granted, some sets just suck, okay, fine, that does happen. But if you get a set and you're really expecting it should be good and it's been well reviewed and all that stuff, and you're just like, sleep on it. Don't listen to anything else before you listen to it the next day. And don't listen to anything else except it for the rest of the day. Let your brain burn in a little bit. Because I don't know how I feel about actual burn-in on IEMs. I believe it's possible with dynamic drivers, and not so much planar magnetic, or not at all with BAs. But I'd say it's a possibility. Okay. But I think it's more about the brain burn-in and letting your hearing and your brain process how they're supposed to sound. And don't EQ. At least right from the start. Give it a chance, okay? I'm not neither pro or con on the EQ thing. I used to EQ everything. I don't EQ anything anymore. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't. I would not say that. If EQ makes you happy, go ahead and do it. Just give your new set, a chance to shine all on its own, which these eventually did. Very happy to say. So, couple of quick things, really quick. There will be an affiliate link on this for Linsole. If you want to support the channel and you're interested in purchasing it, it will be $79. I get 10% of that. That's $7.90. Does not raise the price for you one bit. It's just goes to me instead of them, which is pretty cool. If that makes you feel weird, or you just don't feel like doing that and you want to order them, HiFiGo, same price. Amazon, same price. Those links will be in the description as well. And also, lastly, I posted a short last week because I was so freaking excited about my Crypta shirt, my Crypta Space shirt from Indie Merch Store. But it was terrible, so I took it down. IndieMerchStore.com. 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 If you got a favorite band and you can't find any gear anywhere for it, especially if it's like metal or rock or alternative, more than likely they're going to have something. They even have like vinyl and stuff like that. And this is unsolicited and uncompensated like ad read. They've been practicing for, you know, when that does happen. But I'm just letting you know, it's a great shop. My stuff, high quality, really like heavy duty cotton, not the softest cotton, but definitely like it feels like it's going to last for frickin' ever. And from order to door, 3 days. I don't know what more you can ask for. I mean, if you can wait, you know, 2 or 3 weeks from, you know, from your order from AliExpress, then you can wait a few days for your, you know, t-shirt from your favorite band. Go visit them. They have like no followers on YouTube. Maybe that's not their focus, but anyway. I think that's going to wrap it up. Yeah, good set. I'm going to give it a solid recommend. Not my highest recommendation because there is a lot of competition, but a solid recommend. Like, this is a very, very good set. Just listen to what I told you, and if you end up liking the bronze better on the nozzles, that's just fine. I'm not saying they sound bad. To me, for my ears, I just think that the silver and black sounds better. And that's it. That's all we can do, right? It's how we like it, it's how we hear it, what our preferences are. Don't go sniffing too many graphs on me now, okay? Love you guys. Nothing but peace to you. We'll see you.